Hi everybody, Claire with Clairvoyant Psychic Medium here today, and we finally are here with the Witch's Tea with
Alex,
Ashley.
Yay!
Hi.
Woo. So sorry that we've been absent. We've had a lot of changes. I've had a schedule change. Alex has had a schedule change, and life has just kind of taken over. So here we are trying. But if we get tired and whatever, because we're not at our most best right now because Mercury is retrograde also. Be easy on us.
but also we're humans. We're Homo sapiens, friends.
I thought you said hobo sapiens.
Homo sapiens.
Homos.
I know. Emphasis. Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Hey, happy Pride Month. Can I say a quick thing? I know this is off topic. Okay, so I was at work today and I was looking at our calendar and it tells us at the top of Google Calendar like what the holiday is. I didn't know they added the beginning of National Pride Day as a holiday sticker in your Gmail, like in your calendar. That was so exciting for me. I literally turned to a doctor and I was like, oh my God, they did it. And he looked so happy for me. Man, yes, we're excited.
Yay. That's good.
All right, ladies. So, and everybody listening, we decided we're going to change up the format a little bit. We're going to combine our Karma Corner and Witchy Biscuits sort of for the end. And we'll call it, I don't know, Karma Biscuits or something. But during the beginning, we're going to answer some fan questions, some questions from some young witches or people beginning in their spirituality or just really anyone who has a question. So we've got a couple today. The first one that I got was, what do you guys do to like sage things that you feel like has bad energy or just you feel like needs to have the energy cleansed in general?
For me, it's a lot of intention. So it's not clear cut like what you do is correct. It is your intention to clear that energy. And that is really the biggest thing. Your intentions, and that's really all witchcraft. It's your intention behind it. So it doesn't really matter if you use smoke or smudging, or if you're using fire itself or water, however you choose to. But new ideas for new ways to cleanse, that's a great idea. Claire, do you have any additions for that?
Oh, well, I have done it all. I can remember when I very first started, I used water to cleanse my crystals. Then I used incense smoke. Then I switched to sage. But now, ever since I've learned Reiki, I just cleanse everything with Reiki. Even my car, even myself, everything. Like I'm just symboling it up everywhere. So that's the main thing what I do.
Okay, there we go.
That's good advice.
Yeah. All right, so the second question I got was, and I think this is a really big source of confusion, especially when you're sort of learning about the zodiac signs and astrology in the beginning. So right now we're in the season of Gemini, and somebody asked me, they're like, wait, I'm confused. This new moon that just happened last week, they're like, saying that it's in Sagittarius. I thought we were in Gemini. I'm like, okay, honey, here's how it works. And I remember being the exact same way in the beginning. So our sun signs, they cycle through the zodiac each, oh my goodness, I can't talk today. They circle through the zodiac. So you hit one sign per year, or each sign once per year. But for the moon cycles, those signs hit every couple of days. So even though our sun sign is in Gemini, our moon sign at the time of the full moon was Sagittarius, and then a couple days later it moved on to Capricorn, and then Aquarius, and I don't know exactly where we're at in this moment, but yes, Pisces. So there we go. So that's the scoop with that is the sun changes up signs once a month, and the moon changes 3 signs every couple of days.
Here's how you remember that, friends. The Earth takes much longer to get around the sun than it takes the moon to travel with Earth.
Yep.
I was like, wait a second, I'm gonna say this wrong. But yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, and then just like all the other planets, like Mercury moves ridiculously fast, and Mercury takes like 3 days pretty much. No, that's too many. Probably like 3 weeks to go through a sign or something like that. Like it's super fast.
Right.
And Venus, it's maybe like 3 months, and Mars, it's like 6 months. And then once you keep going, and then it's like Pluto is like 7 years, Chiron is like 8 years, like, so it's a lot. It's all,
Right.
they all have their own speed.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks.
Yes, yes. All right, ladies. So let's move on to our main topic of the day, which is gonna be some tarot cards. So we got started here in the beginning. Ashley was shuffling up some cards, and what did you pull here, Ashley?
I pulled fun things. So I'm usually a pretty traditional card puller where I just shuffle it real nicely. I pull what's on the top of the deck, but I decided just to be more crazy. I don't know. So I just speed shuffled it, and I let cards fall out, and I had 3 cards fall out, which I love. I love 3 card spreads. They're my jam. So I've got the 9 of Cups, and I'm using my Cat Tarot deck, which we've just discovered. Claire just got this as well.
Yes.
Showed it upside down.
Yeah,
All right. So we pulled the 9 of Cups, and
Then your water energy.
yeah. So 9 of Cups is bringing in just great wishes, abundance. Your dreams are coming true. So I'd asked the deck originally, right? I was like, what does Claire want to know? Because no, I never pull for Claire because I think to myself, Claire's an expert. Claire doesn't need my advice. But I did. I said F it, and I just did it. So Claire, before we move on, do you kind of want to tell them like anything about like what's going on with you?
Yeah, so first of all, it is a little bit weird that it's that actual 9 of Cups, because that's my card for the month. So I do a year spread. That's something that you can book with me. But like if you ever want like your 12 months, and then I do like an overall signifier card. So my June card is the 9 of Cups, which is like, yeah, bringing in your wishes. And I'm literally going to sit down with the She Shed lady tomorrow to sign the deal. So
Question. So, because I just worked with a spread where I had a signifier card. What do you? Because I was prompted to actually like choose the signifier card, not let pick it myself. And I had the Page of Wands. Is what I chose. What was your signifier card
for the year?
Yes.
Oh, hang on, I gotta look.
While she's doing that, I had done a Celtic spread.
What is a signifier card?
So the signifier card, at least for the spread that I did, is it's a card that represents you, the querent, in the reading. So maybe you might choose Wands if you feel like you're fiery, more fiery, passionate individual, creative. Maybe if you're a water sign, maybe you'll feel more inclined for one of the cup cards. But the Page of Wands happens to be both a fire sign card, which I'm a Sag, so that's fire sign energy. But also its associated birthday is November 25th, which is my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and also, but Page of Wands, at least in the deck that I use primarily, the Lion Strider Tarot by Sayolo Thompson, shows this badass like warrior girl with a dragon.
Wow.
Yes, so I love that card. So that's what I chose as my signifier card for my Celtic spread that I did.
Nice.
Mine is the 3 of Wands. And
okay.
It basically means like your dreams are on the way.
Yes. That is manifestation. I love it. Okay, so that was our first card, was the 9 of Cups, just signifying abundance, happiness, like dreams coming true. Like
I also think like laying the foundations a little bit, like because it's working towards sort of that 10 of Cups, which is the final like, look at all the wonderful shit I have.
I always think of that too. I always think of the 9 as the foundation. So like this is where we are. We did it. We built it. And then the 10 is like celebrate.
Yes, because this is I think important. When you're working with the tarot deck, a really good way to think about things is think of the deck as sort of a story. And when you're working with a suit, it goes from the ace all the way up to the king. But specifically, from your ace to your tens, That's your story. That's Ace is the beginning of the journey, what's going on, moving all the way to the end, with your 10 being the final completion of it. Whereas those court cards, those page knights, queens and kings are more representative of a person rather than a situation, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah, I would agree with that, honestly. So our second card that we have is the Wheel of Fortune.
Major Arcana.
Yes. So anything can happen. Life is cyclical. It is circular. It moves. It doesn't stop. So I think that it's really indicative too of you saying that your 9 of Cups is your June card. You are in that time of your life right now when you are, you're getting there. You're doing that thing, your dream, and you're making that come true. So which leads us into our last card, the Fool. It's personally one of my favorite cards because it is just joyous and we're gonna go do it, we're gonna have fun, and it is a new beginning and it has so much potential. Oh my gosh, the Fool card is your start. You ever have an idea, a thought, and you're like, I'm gonna run with this? That's what it is. So you have dreams and they're on the cusp of just busting, right? And that's exactly where you're supposed to be. And you should go forth merrily and full-heartedly with that. So
yep. Take the jump. I am.
Do it. We're so excited. Oh my gosh.
That was awesome. You know what's weird is that when I went to Colorado, we were listening to our podcast, and at the end of that podcast, you guys were supposed to give me a reading, and so you're doing it now, and that's weird. I don't know if you meant to do that, but
oh, look at that. Fantastic.
Awesome.
What is, Claire, like, what is one of your favorite spreads to do, especially if you're working with a client or somebody else?
I just do intuitive spreads, so I intuitively pick, but I usually use 9 cards. That's like my general.
Okay.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 stories that I go over.
Okay. And when you're doing that, like, is it just dependent on the person, or do you have sort of like a format in your brain that you use for those 9 cards, like what they kind of represent, the 3 stories?
Yeah, well, so the tarot itself, I think we might have said it, I don't remember, but the tarot itself, the first card that I pull is what the story is, and then the oracles that I pair it with are kind of like how to get out of it, or
gotcha,
what you need, or what you're doing wrong, or what it could be anything. But yeah, the main story is the actual tarot card. And then we just kind of have to figure out what the oracle is after that.
Right. I like you said, figuring it out. I feel very much that a big thing with tarot is a lot of times putting the puzzle pieces together, especially if you're doing, any spread that's more than 1 card, I feel like. Because totally doing, I think, a 1 card, spread is fine, especially if you got this, deck. What do I need to know,
Yeah.
But if you've got more than 1 card, sometimes you look at that first card or 2 and you're like, what? I don't understand. What does it mean? And you have to sort of get to that last card or read all of it to finally figure out, like, this is where it's clicking. This is how it's fitting together. Looking at the whole picture, I think
I would agree with that, because there are times when I'm like, you know what? It's morning. I'm rushing out the door. I need to pick 1 card real fast. I just want to know what my card is for today. And sometimes I get the feeling where I'm like, this 1 card was not enough, and I need some more explanation. So 1 card is absolutely fine, but like, go with your gut on it. I mean, if you need another clarifying card, just ask for it, shuffle it up, pull one out, like, let it fall out, whatever works for you.
I love, and I think it's so important to note that, like, we all have very different ways of practicing, which I think is sort of the beauty of this religion of sorts, is that there is really no wrong way to do it.
No,
there's a couple, taboos.
Maybe, you shouldn't hex people. You shouldn't do it. It's bad karma. That's my only big, that's my big no. You shouldn't do it.
You're also just creating
negativity. Love. You don't hex people. You can't kill people. It's just those normal ones.
But also, I feel like
general human rules.
Just, in regards with hexing, like, when I think about that, like, even just in a general sense, like, if you're investing your energy into somebody else who's, wronged you in that way, like, having put for the energy of having to hex them, like, that's this is breeding negativity within you anyways. Like you're not solving the true problem. Like you need to find peace.
You could have used that energy to cleanse yourself, find a higher self to evolve into, and then take the F off. You know what I mean? Like you could have just ran with it, but instead you stayed back.
Karma will work for you, friends. It proves itself time and time again.
You know what a good spell is? If you're into spells, if you are at that level, you can be at that level at any time, just so you know. And Alex brought this to my attention. It's kind of like a loophole, right? If there's somebody in your life that you're like, they really did do me wrong. Like it was just really, really dirty. You don't have to hex them. You can just ask that their karma be sped up. Now, you didn't ask for anything bad to happen to them, because if they have good karma in the world, that karma will come to them. That good things will happen for that person.
But if they fucked up,
but if they did not do good things, they're gonna get bad karma really fast. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. All right,
we're just nudging karma a little bit.
We're just asking nature to just work more specifically in this spot. That's all.
Work smarter, not harder, friends.
Boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, kind of circling back, as far as us practicing differently, like I love that Claire noted she always does intuitive readings, and I love doing intuitive readings too. But I have a lot of fun, especially when I'm working with clients, like finding different spreads, and Pinterest has actually a phenomenal amount of spreads. You can sort of money. I just did one the other day for somebody, and it was a clarity spread. They were looking for like specifically clarity in regards to like a job situation. Like they didn't know if they wanted to go to school, back to school, or if they should forego school and just sort of do things in a more modern way, working on like network connections, because the career they're in doesn't really require a degree. It's just sort of nice to have, but absolutely not necessary. So we did that. And I love doing past life, like in spirit guide spreads, like working with the deck to like receive, kind of work on messages from your guides, especially if like receiving messages to your guides doesn't come easy to you yet. If you're still working on your clairsentience, your clairaudience, whatever, just communicating with your guides. I think that the tarot deck is a nice medium for doing that.
I agree, because sometimes I try to talk to my spirit guides with my pendulum, and they's quiet. They don't talk. I talk to one all the time. He's not a talker, but I talk his ear off, and I know he's annoyed, but I got questions. So, I mean, it's probably better if I just stick to tarot decks. He communicates better that way. But every once in a while, I'll pull out my pendulum and I'm like, "Hey, guy, what's up?" And he's like, "Jesus Christ, again? You already know the answer. Just work hard. Stop crying about it." That's all he ever tells me. I found out he has a son, though. He wouldn't talk about him. He wouldn't tell me anything about him. He has a son. We're getting closer, guys. We're getting very close to being like best friends, I think. I mean, he's coming around. It's nice. I can feel him. He's around. He's scowling. He scowls a lot. It's my resting bitch face that he has.
All right. Anything else either that you guys want to note about tarot cards, like right now specifically, that you think it's important? Like for someone who's just getting into it.
Read it. Read what it says. At first you might be confused, but like tarot takes some time to sink in sometimes. So like you might get a tarot reading. If you get it from somebody else, you might not understand fully what it means until you leave. And then you suddenly have that epiphany. You're like, oh my God, that's it. And that's what you're waiting for. You need to kind of like let the information come to you. Just let it stew.
I think this is important. If you're somebody who's wanting to start doing spreads for some other people, something we learned at a workshop was, I think a lot of us, I know I certainly did in the beginning when I was trying to work on my intuition, I was trying to connect to other people, and I was focusing on my energy on like reaching out to their energy, when in reality, the best way you're going to receive messages and fortify your intuition is grounding yourself and focusing your energy inwards rather than outwards. Like, you can't receive a single damn message if you're blocked off. Like, can't connect to anybody. It's all about clearing your energy, making your body and yourself ready to receive the messages and utilize your intuition.
Word.
Meditation, friends, super great. There's plenty of guided meditations. One of my favorite guided meditations I've ever done was done by Claire herself. I believe it was called the Red Balloon. I don't know. I remember there was a balloon and it was the best.
The balloon one, yep.
Claire said, and I quote, Alex is on a journey.
I was. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was gonna say something. Oh, tarot. Okay, so my biggest advice, I guess I would say, is don't try to memorize decks. It is so much fun to like read different perspectives. Like, I know that this is just a personal opinion, but I have so many people that judge readers by if you read the deck or not. And
Right.
That means absolutely nothing. Like, I have ADHD. I cannot memorize decks. Like, I know a couple ones here and there, cards that are like, oh, 3 of Swords, that's a grief card. You know, like, we know certain cards,
Right.
but we're not going to memorize things. And just get over the stigma of trying to perfect it and that you don't know anything. You can be a stranger off the street, pick up a deck, and it can speak to you. Anyone that can read can get healed in that kind of way. So
yeah. I think that's very important, and I totally agree. Yeah, for sure. I actually have for that reason specifically, give my clients the heads up. I'm like, I like utilizing these different books when I'm doing readings because I think that the authors of these books are very knowledgeable, and have different perspectives. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it might just be one sentence in one of these books that really applies to you.
Yep.
And it may not have been the thing that was the first thought on my mind. But I think that's important. And, but you're absolutely right too. Like, as you're going and you're learning, like, you're going to get to know, you'll see, you know, the Fool, you know, or, you know, a card here and there. We're like, I know what this one is.
I was going to say, like, I probably can tell you about 5 cards in the deck. That's it. Like at the top of my head, I could be like, okay, this one, like, that's it. Like, otherwise I'm in the book. Okay. Like, I pulled just now before we started, I pulled these cards, right? And I pulled Wheel of Fortune and I was like, I don't know what that means. And Alex was like, oh yeah. I had no idea. I had to read it. I don't know what that means. Like,
see, and I always tell people too, like,
Wheel of Fortune's a major arcana. Like, a lot of people probably know it. I did not.
Even if I know the card, I'm like, oh yeah, it means this. I still crack open the book. I'm like, let's see what the author said.
Let's
like,
still reread it.
And I have books too that, like, if I'm working with somebody who's in any sort of creative career field, I always pull out this one certain book because it's tailored towards people like that. And I think it's wonderful. So utilize your resources, friends. I mean, they're not a bad thing. It doesn't make you, you know, an incompetent a spiritual person if you're utilizing your books.
Gosh,
like,
no. Okay, so my another piece of like witch advice would be like, just, there's people out there who are different than you. They're going to give you a new perspective. You want that. You want new perspective. So yeah, utilize all of your resources, your people, your books, your meditations, I mean, online blogs, like, however you feel connected to it, like, use that stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
Don't stop using it. You can always learn something new. There's one person in the world who knows the most about witchcraft, right? Hypothetically, that person still doesn't know everything. You can always learn more.
Yeah.
So,
all right, ladies. So let's move on. We're going to move on to our final piece of the format tonight, keeping it a little bit short and sweet tonight, but we've sort of combined our witchy biscuits and our karma corner for karma biscuits. So we're going to go around and tell one like spiritual good thing that happened this week, or just since our last visit, or even just in general, something that you feel like is notable and good. So what you guys got?
you want to start?
Sure. So I got a new muggle job, and that's why I'm exhausted. However, I am so very grateful for this exhaustion because it's bringing in more income that I really, really needed. And so even though I am balls tired, I am immensely grateful. So, and I like to think that it's partially in part two. I've been struggling with my finances for a while for eclectic reasons outside of my control. But I have a shop that I go to that has mystery boxes, like witchy mystery boxes that I love. I'm a sucker for mystery boxes. And the last like 3 ones that I've got have all had like a money candle or a money jar or a charm or a spell or something, an oil in it for like attracting money. And even though I really needed it, I just felt like no time was the right time to do it yet until we had that full moon in Scorpio about 2 months ago. No, not even like 2 months ago.
It was like last month.
Yeah, last month.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I did a whole thing where I lit some candles. I lit the candles, and I did a spell, and I created a charm jar. And a couple weeks later, friends, I tripled my income, and it was a great feeling after like 2 years of being a broke, sad bitch.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I told my boss about that at work today.
Really?
Yeah. She was skeptical.
That's fair. I understand. We were all skeptical in the beginning, but you know what?
I was like, listen, you can be skeptical, but regardless,
it works. Happen.
I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anyone says. It ended up working out. So I'm just saying.
Take that for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ashley?
So mine is more towards karma. So I was on Facebook and I got one of those memory notifications, which I usually never look at, but this one caught my eye because it was, I never make posts like this. So I wrote a post probably in about 2015, and I tagged this girl in it. And I was like, I just want you to know that at one point you really helped me out in my life, and I never forgot about it. And to this day, I still think about that girl. So I was a senior in high school. I was dating a boy, and I was crying in the bathroom in like this really gorgeous dress, right? For no reason. And she walked in and she was like, "What is this?" No. Get up. I don't know who this person is, but I can tell you that they're not worth it. And you are far too amazing, too strong, too beautiful, too smart to be sitting in a bathroom crying, looking as good as you do. And that was like 8 years
Almost
ago.
a decade ago.
That was almost 10 years ago, friends. And I reposted it again and I tagged her in it again. And I was like, listen, this girl, I still like don't know much about her. Like I keep her on my Facebook, on my social medias and all of that. But she lives in my head. She stays there, and she impacted me, and it's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. So my moral of this story is that you don't know how you're going to impact somebody, good or bad. So just be the good in the world.
Yeah,
because
karma comes quicker.
Because of karma comes quick for you.
Make sure it's good, karma.
Make sure it's good. Yeah. Also to be noted, I was never that person who was crying in a bathroom. I was always in her position. And I was like, no, beautiful queen. You're going to stand up. We're going to rock this. We're going to get those tears out of our eyes. And so it was really weird to like be in that position, like to be the one where someone was like, no, ma'am, we're not doing this. So she lives in my heart forever. I love that girl. I know probably 4 facts about her. But yes, she's amazing.
Cut that to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
All right, Claire, send us off. What you got?
Okay, so the new moon in Taurus, I wanted to go kind of big for that because I'm a Taurus rising and I want to be manifest. I'm a Taurus North Node, so North Node is my future. I was like, this is my shit. I need to manifest. So I was very big into this. So I, for the first time ever, I mean, I've done like candle magic and maybe some protection, but I've never like really done a spell.
Right,
So
same.
I did a spell on this new moon, and it was for money. It was really cool. I feel like I might have talked about it. We had to like incorporate a key into it.
Okay.
And like we had all these candles that represented something. Me and my friend Bailey did this. So we had all these candles that represented something. So before we lit it, we had to like say a thing. And then before we lit the next one, we had to say a thing. And then I had one final candle, which is like my foundation one. And it just so happened to like be humongously long because I couldn't find any fucking red candles that are small. I guess whatever. Anyway, so I had to keep. Why are you guys laughing?
There's a mysterious
There is a
ticking noise.
mysterious ticking noise, and I can't figure it out. Dan saw it, and we were making eye contact.
We're
I
very
can't figure out
concerned.
what it is. We were all staring. We're like, "What is it?" It's gone. Okay,
Okay.
Weird.
go on.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Your red candle. Let's go.
Yeah. So my red candle is really long, and so I made a vow to myself that I was gonna put this necklace on every single day, light the candle, meditate, say 5 things that I'm grateful for, and I did that shit religiously for 2 weeks straight till we got to the Sagittarius full moon, and you got $20,000, Claire. Congratulations, you can get your she shed.
Yay!
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
So yeah, that's great.
So that's a big deal. And the another thing that I want to notate that's kind of like thing that is, I guess I epiphanied today that's happening. So I have a really hard time doing construction stuff because I'm a girl and I get treated like shit when I go into Menards, and I get mansplained. And I don't know if you girls saw, but I broke a fucking window not that long ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So because I was so pissed off about somebody mansplaining me, I was all frazzled and I tried to shove wood into my car and I broke my windshield. So anyways, I hired for my she shed and my repairs and everything a general contractor that's a woman. And the she shed girl that I'm getting it is a woman. And I'm just so excited that I'm like trying to like, yes, I want to utilize this energy because this is what I want to be about. And like, you know.
Yes.
For sure.
I'm so
Fantastic.
excited. That's awesome.
I know, I'm so
All right, friends.
Power of manifestation.
Yes.
Okay.
It has been another real podcast, friends.
yeah.
Very real.
So yeah, we're gonna keep trying to push these out every Wednesday. So be looking for them. I should have it uploaded within the hour. But yeah, that's everything. Do we have anything else to say? That's it, right?
Do we have a jingle to like sign off on?
We
Like
need to make one. Boop,
the
boop.
tea girls are at it again. Yeah.
This is the saddest little jingle. Alex, you look like a zombie, right?
Oh, you guys are good. My muggle job. It's just I'm gonna live. I'm gonna get better, but I'm going through a transitional phase right now, and I am tired.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Thanks. Love you all.
All right. Love you all. Make sure to check out everything. All the links and everything are listed to check out their TikToks and Instagrams. And then it's, of course, my link tree for all of my stuff. So thank you. We'll see you next week. Mwah.